Ladies and gentlemen, fellow demonosophers, and spiritual fam all over the world, I'm hyped for this video because tonight we're going to talk about Medusa. So get ready for it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Zerical Cathos from Demonosophy and Beyond. Before we get into anything, I would like to talk about the whole race thing. First of all, it's stupid. But, like, if everything wasn't whitewashed, this would not be a problem. Okay? The whitewashing thing annoys me, as well as the blackifying of everything as well, or the feminizing of everything. It's all just ways of creating division, okay, instead of unity. But when it comes to the different entities, it is true that in spirit form they don't have any color. But when they manifest on the human realm, wherever they manifest, they're going to take the form of the people that they manifest around. So, if you have an entity, for example, that manifests on a human level in the Middle East, they're going to look Middle Eastern. That means they're going to have dark skin. That means they're going to have hair like Middle Eastern people. That means they're going to have eyes like Middle Eastern people. If you have an entity that manifests in Africa, that means they're going to have dark skin. That means they're going to have the trait of the people who are in that area. If you have an entity that manifests in European countries, that means that they're going to take on the qualities of the people around there. Okay? So, with that said, we are going to talk a little bit about Medusa. Medusa is known to be from Libya, which at the time when Africa was doing business with Greece, Libya was all of North Africa. If you Google the people from Libya, you will see that they are dark-skinned. I first came upon the mention that Medusa was African and dark-skinned in origin when I was looking up a video about how to reach out to her, and I found this lady who was, I guess she's British or English, and she is the one that actually brought up the fact that through her gnosis, she saw Medusa as a dark-skinned woman with dreadlocks, and the dreadlocks were probably what was described as snakes. Okay, so if you also look up the Greek historian Herodotus of Halicarnassos, he wrote that Medusa was from Libya. And this is not strange, but if a certain entity or deity did not exist, then why would a historian be writing about that person? And by exist, I mean like exist on the earthly realm. Because Medusa was the daughter of sea gods. I call them titans because the information that I came upon said that they predated Neptune or Poseidon. And the deities that predate what we call gods are titans. For people who still want to argue about the fact that, there were no black people around Greece or Rome, which is insane. There was artwork unearthed depicting black people in Greece as early as 7000 BC. Okay, Medusa, the first mention of Medusa is in 700 BC. So, and while looking up how black people were portrayed by the Greeks, they were seen as very exotic. So, if Medusa was indeed African, which it seems that she is, she would be portrayed as very exotic. To have stunning beauty to the point of paralyzing men. And this is what can be attributed to turning men into stone. So, continuing on with Medusa. Medusa has 3 forms as far as I know. Okay. So, when I called upon Medusa, I used green candles, snake bones, sigil, dragon's blood, and I did it at night. I researched her thoroughly to get an idea of who she was. She is not a villain. She is not a demon. In fact, Gorgons were seen as protective deities. Even the name Medusa means guardian. Okay. Now, her association with snakes also is not a negative thing, because snakes are known to represent transformation, rebirth. Okay. Snakes have been a symbol that have been used in the medical field constantly. Can snakes have negative effect? Yeah, they're poisonous, but everything has duality. So if you treat Medusa right, if you treat Medusa with respect, you won't have to worry about those negative aspects, so to speak. Now, getting back to Medusa herself, she has 3 forms that she showed me. Actually, 4 forms. I digress. 4 forms. She has a younger form. She has the stereotypical form that she takes to scare off people who are not willing to actually go beyond what they've been told. She has an older form, which is, I mean, her first form is like a teenager, early 20s. Her second form is slightly older, and her third form doesn't really look much older than her second form, but you can tell that she's older. And I'll get into that. But it was mentioned in the video that I saw that Medusa is one of those triple moon deities. So the triple moon is connected to goddesses that are usually of a Trinitarian nature. When it comes to women, they are described as the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Okay, but she doesn't necessarily fit that type, because she doesn't really come off as a crone. She is a mother, but that form of her that is like in a second phase that fits in that section of mother does not really come off as a mother. And I'll tell you about my my experiences with her. So with her first form, she was very young. She was standing by a river, and she had a jug like she was collecting water, but she really wasn't doing anything. She was just being nonchalant, being carefree. She comes off as the personification of life, the youngest form of Medusa. She had dark skin, a white nose. She had it looked like an afro that was wrapped up to where the end, like her hair was very long. So like the afro came out the back and kind of looked like the top of broccoli. That's the only way that I can explain it. But she was happy, cheerful, vibrant, flirtatious. And she also likes to swim. And I don't know what resides in the water of Libya. I'm sure there are probably dangerous things, but she did not fear anything within the water, which makes sense if you are the daughter of water deities. In her second form, she was wearing purple. I can't remember what she was wearing in her younger form. She was wearing purple. She had a wrap around her forehead, but it wasn't wrapping up her hair. And she had a lot of hair. She looked similar, but she looked older. She had this more intense stare. She was wearing green makeup and a purple dress. She was very primal. She gave off this kind of feel like she just wanted to lunge at you. Very hypnotic. Like once you stare into her eyes, it's a wrap. All you see is her face and her hair, and it's just like it takes up everything. She also emits a lot of spiritual heat. And so if you get close to her, it actually gets hotter. It gets hotter. This form is the form that paralyzes you. When she stares at you, it's like you want to be prey. You want to be preyed upon, but it also sends like fear through you. I wouldn't necessarily say fear, just like a kind of anxiety. It's like being a deer caught in headlights, just wondering what's going to happen next. And that feeling just spreads throughout your whole body, where it's like you feel the anxiety of being hunted, but there's also an ecstasy to it. So, she comes off as sexual in all her forms. You know, her first form is very innocent. Second form, she looks like she's going to take you. She feels like she's going to take you. And she will if she wants you. Her third form, she does not move like an animal, stand like an animal. She stands straight. She has pride. Not saying that she doesn't have pride in her other forms, but she has a queenly air to her. She's wearing white with gold trim. She's still giving off that heat, that spiritual heat. But instead of her coming to you because she's hunting you, you approach her, and you approach her respectfully. And if you try to touch her without her permission, the heat that she emits will literally disintegrate you. So you have to ask permission and actually, approach her with respect. When she appeared, she was always looking down upon me because she was standing upon a rock and she was above me. But there was no feeling that she was being condescending. It's just that she's royalty. She's a goddess herself. She's born of God, so she's going to act like it. This one is This form was a little bit more reserved. Didn't give off a primal feel, you know. But she had like a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. And so she's probably one of the most intense female entities that I have come upon so far. I love her, love the experience. Definitely will revisit her and do my best to get to know her. And perhaps if she approves, take her on as a guardian and see if she has anything to teach me. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there is, if you feel so inclined to contact her, I've given you the means to contact her. Be sure to do it with respect. And have fun with your magic. Keep learning. Don't take one source as truth. Always do your research. And the truth is hidden. It's called the occult for a reason. So, it's not going to be as obvious as people think. Sometimes you got to go digging. Sometimes you're not going to find as many sources as what's mainstream. But you got to look. You got to look for truth. These entities and these deities, they really respect the hard work that you put in when you put in hard work in order to contact them and get to know them. So please do that. Anyway, have a good evening. I hope everybody's doing well, and I'll talk to you later.